There are a lot of people that did Biggest Loser that lost a lot of weight and kept the weight off. There are also some people that gain the weight back. We oftentimes hear somebody say, "Oh, keto didn't work because when I went off of it, I gained all my weight." Well, when you're not utilizing something, like let's say your car, for example, if you're not in your car, then you can't get the benefits of your car. You have to get inside the car and then drive the car, which entails you using the car. When you're using a particular diet, it will take you to a certain place if you do it and if you follow it. If you follow the roadmap that's ahead of you, then it will work. Almost all diets work. We see incredible success with people losing weight, but we see incredible defeat because people gain weight, and sometimes they gain not only the weight back, but they gain that weight back and then some. That happens a lot too. And we saw that with something like The Biggest Loser, where if you guys haven't seen the documentary for Biggest Loser, you should check it out. It's a good conversation piece in the household. You know, it was like humiliating to people and so forth. They did a lot of dumb stuff on the show, but they did a lot of great stuff on the show. And I think the show had people talking about exercise and nutrition. Unfortunately, people were relying on the show. They were trying to rely on the show to help them lose weight. There was many people that signed up for like 5, 6, 7 years in a row to try to get on the show, hoping that the show would like bail them out of their weight loss journey, you know? There are a lot of people that did Biggest Loser that lost a lot of weight and kept the weight off. There are also some people that gain the weight back. There's some people that gain the weight back and then some, and that's the horror stories that you hear about. And what I'm here to tell you is that it's not the Biggest Loser's fault. It's a lack of communication. Like if somebody didn't tell these people that you have to continue to have these good habits in order to keep the weight off, then maybe shame on them. But I'm sure that like everyone has an understanding of that, right? Everyone has an understanding that you move around a bunch and you have good habits, and then you lose weight, and as a result, you get the results you're looking for. You lose a bunch of weight, you become quote unquote healthier. You look healthier. All these different things happen, and then of course you're going to have a rebound if you went back to eating the way. If you went back to eating the way that you were originally eating, that got you that heavy in the first place, then, you know, that should be no surprise to anybody. That should be very normal, right? That should be commonplace. That should be understood. That's something that's going to happen. You got rid of a lot of calories. You burned a lot of calories. You did all these things. But that lifestyle was not sustainable for you. And so therefore you started to gain the weight back. And with some of the people that gained, you know, all the weight back and then some, I think that's it really sucks. You know, it sucks in a lot of ways. But some people, what they'll say is that Biggest Loser ruined their metabolism. And that actually is not true. They ruined their own metabolism by weighing 400 pounds. They ruined their own metabolism by ingesting a lot of junk food over the years to get themselves into that position. And so they messed up their own metabolism. Their metabolism was dysregulated. And then the metabolism was, you know, I don't even know what you'd say. Their metabolism was maybe avoided a little bit by, you know, the exercise regimen that they were put on. I mean, they weren't really put on like, you know, muscle building activity, you know. They were put on like fat breakdown and muscle breakdown activity, probably more so than anything with the type of movement. Now, a lot of these people, you know, they're not people that move around a ton, so they're going to get some muscle results from just about anything. Anyway, it's an interesting show. You should watch it. I'm not trying to, you know, make any of my episodes about just obesity. But I do find obesity to be really fascinating and interesting. And how do we help a wide range of people with weight loss? How do we help a wide range of people with just getting more fit and looking better? And we do so by finding sustainable diets. I think the key there is that there's an S at the end of it. We get to choose many different types of diets. So, my definition for like the word work would be that you follow what someone laid out, whether it be a workout regimen or a diet, and that while you're doing it, you're getting the results that you're looking for. To me, that would define work. Now, what has to be defined up front is like, how far do you want to go? How much weight do you want to lose? Like, what are you trying to do? So if you're trying to lose 100 pounds in 12 weeks or 100 pounds in 6 months or something, let's say, because some of these people at Biggest Loser lost weight rapidly. They lost weight really, really fast. The faster you lose it, the more likely you are probably the more likely you're going to have trouble afterwards keeping it off. Because the faster that you lose it, the more likelihood there is that you did something that is abnormal to lose the weight. You did something that's different. You maybe suppressed your appetite a ton, maybe through pure guts and will, and you just trained hard. You trained 4 hours every day. If you train 4 hours every day, well, that takes up 4 hours a day that you're not eating. That takes up, 2 hours of cardio, 2 hours of lifting, a lot of activity, a lot of calories burned, and then you're eating, salad and so forth. And there were some people on the show having like 800 calories a day and stuff. They're doing all kinds of crazy stuff because The Biggest Loser was a contest, was a show. But anyway, we're not going to sit here and ramble on about The Biggest Loser. I just thought it was interesting. You guys should check out the documentary. We're talking about sustainability and trying to find a diet that is sustainable. Now, just because somebody's like, oh, it's a well-balanced diet, that doesn't mean anyone's going to stick to it. That does not mean anyone's going to stick to it. That doesn't mean that people are going to automatically stick to it. Because all diets need what? All diets need some form of restriction. Whether it's time restricted feeding or macro restriction, or whether it's calorie restriction, like direct calorie restriction. Macros would be more like indirect calorie restriction. Time restricted feeding would be more indirect calorie restriction. You're not necessarily, that's not like the main focus. You're shrinking down the amount of time that you're eating. And you're saying, I'm only going to eat like in a 4-hour window, but because I'm going to eat in a 4-hour window, I'm going to eat less food. So I am, shrinking down the calories a little bit on that too, right? There's not other methods. There's not other ways. There's not other known ways to lose weight. Even something like the GLP-1s and so forth, they are assisting people with eating less. Whether it's retatrutide or tirzepatide or Ozempic, they're all doing something a little similar. Some may be more effective than others, but they're all assisting people to eat less. Same with any appetite suppressant; it's helping someone to eat less. Caffeine, so forth, assisting people to eat less, be more comfortable while you're eating less food. But like, what's sustainable? Well, what I always say is like, who are you to tell me what's sustainable? How do you know what's sustainable for me? Maybe for me, maybe I love food that has fat in it. Maybe I love hot dogs. Maybe I love cheese. Maybe I love bratwurst. Maybe I love sausage. Maybe I grew up on like hamburger meat and cheese and these different things, right? Well, then maybe there's a discussion to be had. Okay, well, what's going to be sustainable for you may not be a super low fat diet. Like a low fat diet might work for you, and it might be something that you entertain. It might be something that you try. It might be something that you do for a few weeks and you see where it leads you to. One thing I would say is that if something leads you to a new low in body weight, but then several weeks later, you're back way up in body weight, you have to kind of start to ask yourself some questions about what happened. What made something like what was it? Was it the diet? Was it your environment? Was it kind of the thing, the things going on around you? Because sometimes that could be the case, right? You could have things can be You can view things around you as being hectic. We hear people use that term all the time. Oh, it's pure chaos. And you go over their house and you're like, doesn't seem like it's that chaotic. But for whatever reason, to them, that's their interpretation of it. It's chaotic. Whether it's the family's going through something new and different. I just dealt with getting both of my kids out of the house. So that's new and different for me. I could very easily view that as being some sort of major stressor to me, and I could have it result in a negative reaction of drinking, relying more on drugs. I could go off my diet. But for me personally, I have recognized that I get the greatest amount of joy through my disciplines. And it's not because I'm some badass. It's none of that. It's because I just have learned to do this, and I've learned to do it over time, and it makes me feel good. So I'm not like a masochist. I'm not like looking for pain. I'm not looking for trouble. I just like to work on enhancing and improving myself. And that's where my mind usually goes to. Now, will my mind drift, and will it go into, oh man, it'd be awesome to have some pizza like during this football game or something like that? Yeah, sure it does. Sure it does. But that's what we're here talking about today, is like, what do you do with that? What do you do with that craving? Like, what are we supposed to do? And we got we're live here. So, Q&As are wide open if you guys have questions and stuff. And we can kind of maybe try to talk through this, because I don't really know what the right answers are necessarily. I think that you guys probably have some pretty good answers. But to me, the best diet is what Stan Efferding always says. It's going to be the one that you can follow.